And welcome to the show at 2 o'clock. Our name is Pastimes. As it says there on the sign,
in red,
we take our name from a song written and composed by none other than good King Henry VIII, the father of our glorious Queen. Long live the Queen!
Long live the Queen.
Very good.
The words to this song go like this. Pastime with good company, I love and shall until I die. So we would like to provide you with some pastime if you provide us with your good company. Here on this stage, we play music of the Queen's time on instruments of the Queen's time. In other words, our motto is real old music on real old instruments by really old players. At this point, I think we need to distribute a few clappers so we can hear back from the audience.
It's a huge audience. Hand it.
So let us play that song, Pastime with Good Company. Now, this show is all about wind instruments, and these are some of the loudest ones, so if you want to come a little closer, that's okay.
Safe now.
Because these are the ones that are most to be feared. And as we bring out our instruments, you may have never seen or heard anything like this before. You may never want to see anything like this again. So we will introduce them to you. These are our screaming pipes. We don't know why they call them screaming pipes, but this is the name. And they are, as you can see, attention-getting devices.
Yes.
They're very loud. They're here to get your attention in a lively place
Apparently it
like
drove
this.
some people away.
And yes, and it also, for instance, this is a good instrument for parades, for fanfares,
Horseback.
even on horseback in warfare. So you use this instrument to signal left flank, retreat, right flank, advance, that kind of thing. Also for dances, so it's a very versatile instrument, and like all the instruments of the time, they came in families. So this is our sopranino, this is our soprano. Let's see, we have some bigger ones here. We have some tiny ones, but we want to get the bigger ones. Yes. This is the tenor. So we will pair this tenor up with a smaller one. And on this Faire, just as we had mentioned. Now, if you can imagine, this is the tenor. How big would the bass be?
Much longer.
That long. And that would be a very difficult instrument to take along on horseback or in a parade. So, somebody who was very, very smart invented something new. They invented a way to make the wind wave twice as long as the instrument. So now we have this instrument, a dulcian.
Some clever person figured out you can make, out of this length of wood, you can make an instrument twice as long. So you board down one end, you turn around at the bottom, and then come back up the top. So it's twice as long as the piece of wood it's made of. And it's portable.
And on this we play, we mentioned warfare before, we will play a piece called La Battaglia, the battle. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the troops setting up, you can hear the first exchange of volleys, and you can hear a signal, and then the cavalry comes riding in to save the day. And did you hear that low note there?
Yeah.
That is the second lowest note you will hear on the stage today. If you stay all the way to the end, you will hear one that's even lower than that. Now, these instruments here, with their double reeds inside here, later on evolved into the oboe. And this one here later on evolved into a bassoon.
Yes.
This one here is called the dulcian, and it came in all kinds of sizes: bass, tenor, and
Alto.
alto, and soprano.
Super tiny.
So we have the whole family here. But for now, since we're only, alas, but two people, we will play on the bass and the tenor. And what will we play? Yes, we will play a pavan and a gaillard. A pavan, they're both dances. A pavan is a very, very slow, stately dance that goes like this. Just simple steps like this. That's it. That's the whole dance. It's really rather boring, but it's meant to be like the opening dance of a big ball. And in this dance, because it's so slow, you have time to look around, to see who's there, who's been invited, who's not been invited. You can share a little bit of gossip. So that is a pavan. And it's usually followed by a gaillard, which is a very quick jumping dance, and it goes like this. So you have 3 little steps and then one jumping step. And the jumping step is meant so that you can show off how strong and vigorous you are. And especially for the men, how to show off their well-turned out calves. So pavan and gaillard, Angleterre, very often these 2 dances are played with the same melody, just in different rhythms, and that's what we have here too. On dulcians. I think the gentleman needs a clapper. Oh, there are 2 of them. Yes. So now we go to the crumhorns. Yes, the crumhorns. These are the instruments that are very, very typical of the Queen's time. And alas, do not really exist anymore today. We mourn their passing every day. It's called a crumhorn, and it not only looks interesting, but it also sounds very intriguing. Wait till you hear the sound. So here we go. 2 crumhorns, soprano, alto crumhorn. Also now
What are they called?
Krumhorn.
Horn. Krumm, C-R-U-M, meaning like in German it's
Crumpled.
bent.
In English,
yeah.
Like
crumpled.
crumpled. Horn.
Awesome.
And we often get the
Why?
question, why is the Krummhorn bent the way it is?
Why?
Why is the quote bent the way it is?
Yeah.
Yes,
why?
yeah, thank you so much for asking that. It is bent because, as you know, the world is divided into the universe. Up above, we have the heavens where the little angels sing and dance and play the harp. And then below, we have the devil who's doing his awful devilish things and trying to get your souls. So if this instrument were straight, who would we be playing the lovely music to? Yes, now you know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Now, if you thought the soprano and alto sounded strange, wait till you hear the tenor and bass.
Oh, look at these things.
Okay, a song by good King Henry VIII. It's a love song. Oh, madam, let me be your humble servant. I love you so much, and I will serve you to the end of my days. And as long as I live, I will never, ever, ever love another.
He toured us.
Written for his first, second, third, fifth, sixth one? We don't know. One of his
Which one?
wives.
Supposed to produce sound.
Oh, just a moment.
No, G. Sure, that's
So are they double reed?
Yes.
But you don't have to put your mouth on the reed though.
That's
No.
right.
You just have to blow
It's a
in.
capped instrument.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot easier.
Yeah. It's a lot easier, but it limits your expression. So if
Okay.
you blow in, you get either on or off.
And it also
Gotcha.
gives
You
you only
can't-
9 notes.
You can't
Gotcha.
modify
You can't
anything and do swells or anything like that. It's
That's unbelievable.
In the beginning, we played the screaming pipes, which is the same idea.
Okay.
So much louder.
So it's reeded.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm. And
Perfect.
it's
Yeah, I
so
wouldn't
easy-
have known that unless when you took it off and you could see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So these little screaming pipes evolved into oboes,
Right.
and the dulcians we had there evolved into
The
bassoons.
bassoons, yeah.
What did this evolve into?
Clarinet.
Actually, it's a sad story. They died out.
Oh,
Oh. And
no.
the reason we think, apart from its strange sound, might be
It's a fine sound.
It's a fine sound. It might be that they don't carry very
yeah,
far.
it's just very quiet.
It's a very
Yeah, yeah.
quiet
So subdued,
instrument,
yeah.
and as venues got bigger, they needed
Yeah.
louder instruments.
Yeah.
So these fell by the wayside. But a good King Henry
Yeah. He had
loved
many
these
collections.
instruments, and in each of his castles he had at least 5 sets
Oh
of these.
yeah, in intimate settings.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful instrument.
Stone
for that.
rooms.
Yes. Now you heard the tenor and the bass. If you stay all the way to
Yes.
the end, you will hear our great bass quintet. Just as a little preview. All right, time to go to something easier on the lips, the recording. So this is a recorder that you probably all played in first grade, second grade, and so the soprano recorder will play a little piece by Monteverdi, Dammigella tutta bella, my sweet little lady. So much for the recorder. And, and as you probably know, the recorder comes in different sizes. And just like all the instruments of the time, this had a whole family of instruments. So we have the soprano, we have the alto that you might be familiar with, we have a tenor and a bass. Let's just do the bass here, there's the bass.
Tenor's hiding.
And then at the other end,
Went the other way.
at the other end, the sopranino, smaller than the soprano, and this one keeps getting lost because it's so little, the very, very smallest recorder. Garkline
Fun
recorder.
size.
So just for the kicks, for our kicks, we'll play something on the smallest and the largest together. And what will we play? The canary. We'll play the canary dance. For those of you who are not familiar with this, the king of the Canary Islands, once a year, calls all his married couples together, and there, in front of his very eyes, they must dance the canary dance. And the canary dance goes like this. The husbands do a certain step, and the wives must follow exactly. And then the husbands step it up a little bit, make it a little fancier. No, not that fancy. And then the wives have to do the same thing, exactly. And it gets faster and harder, and by the end of this dance, the husbands get to decide whether their wives have followed them well enough to keep them for another year.
He likes that part.
Yes. But here's a note to the ladies. If the ladies are ready for a change, all they have to do is make up their own steps. The canary dance. And now
Animal parts?
we go to animal parts. Instruments made out of animal parts. So, this is made out of a bone. And it's hollow, so it's made out of a bird bone. What bird that you know has a thigh that's about this big?
Nibble, nibble.
A turkey?
Oh, really?
A turkey leg. This is made out of a turkey leg.
Huh.
So if you go and get the turkey legs up there, who knows? You might find something like this in there.
Deep. It could be a prize.
Yes. Now, the other interesting thing about this is that it only has 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. That means you can play it with one hand. So you get the whole scale by overblowing. And that leaves the other hand free to do something else. And that's where the pipe and tabor comes in. Okay, this is a tabor, and this is my pipe. And this combination is the typical instrument of the professional fools. Not just any old fool, the professional fools. So if you see any of those Shakespeare plays and fools appear in those many fools in many plays, they very often come on stage playing this together. And the nice thing is, because you only have one hand on this instrument, you can accompany yourself with the other hand. So if I really wanted to aspire to greatness, I would also try to dance a jig at the same time.
Oh.
Like William Kemp, a famous fool in many of the Shakespeare plays, the actor. But at this point, I'm up to this
9-day
level.
wonder.
So,
You probably didn't do it on a hot summer day.
yes, let's go on to more animal parts.
Yes.
Talk about them.
This comes from the outside of the animal. It's called a gemshorn. A gems is an alpine mountain goat. So they often would make them out of that if it's a smaller one. This is actually an oxhorn. This is the base size. So they came in different sizes as well. And
This one is made out of an antelope horn, and this is the soprano size. But before we get to the music, we have to tell the story. We have to tell the story. This is a song that comes out of the plague years. We all know what the plague was like.
yes.
This one is out of the 15th century plague, in which the idea of life and death was very much on everybody's mind. Is the world governed by life, or is the world governed by death? And this song tries to spell that out. So this song is a debate between life and death. And life begins, and life says, the world is mine. Mine are the little birdies singing in the tree. in the trees. Mine are the flowers in the meadows. Mine are the golden rays of the sun. The world is mine. And death says, your little birds are going to die.
Oh, there's one.
You're not prepared. Yeah, there. Your little birds are going to die.
Yeah.
Your flowers are going to wilt. Flowers are going to wilt. And the sun will set. And the whole world will be covered with darkness. And life says, oh no, the world is mine. Mine are the sweet sounds of music. Mine are the sights of the young people dancing in the village green. Mine is the sweet kiss of the lovers. The world is mine. And death says, your lovers are going to get old and cranky. I'm going to dig a deep hole and I'm going to store in there all the horrors of the world. Famine, plague, and the wars. And yes, that's what I will do. And life says, if you dig a grave, I will cover it with earth, and I will plant my seed in it, and my little flowers will grow and bloom again. The world is mine.
And those flowers will be dandelions.
And I will make dandelion wine. The world is mine.
You'll get sick.
The world is mine. The world is mine. So here is this song finally.
And the reason these sounded so much deeper than the recorders is because they have no hole at the bottom. So everything's an octave low. So this is the same notes as the bass recorder.
So before we get to our very last piece, you have a question?
No,
No. Oh,
I'm just enjoying.
yes. Good, good. We want to thank you for being here and giving us your attention. We also want to point out that the Queen herself has commanded us to record 20 of her father's very favorite songs on this CD, and it is available to the public for £15. And we also have another show on this stage at 4 o'clock. It's all strings, gentle string instruments, violas da gamba, the lute, and the Renaissance guitar. So come back if you like. It's a very quiet show. And we promised you a very, very low note at the end. So let's bring out our great bass drum horn.
The not so great bass.
Here it is. And on these two wonderful instruments, we will play for you a farewell song. A farewell song written, as they say, by Emperor Maximilian when he had to leave this beautiful town of Innsbruck in the Alps behind. Most of all, he was sad because he had to leave his favorite young lady there. Innsbruck, I must leave you now. Let me first do
Ah.
Okay.
Ah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Pretty great. And we have cards.
Oh, and we have cards in there. If you have any other questions, feel free to come up and ask us now or.